This isn't about cutting, it's about trading. Trading expenses that buy you the appearance of a good life for assets that buy you the actual thing. Time, autonomy, the ability to wake up on a Tuesday and decide what happens next. The average American over 50 bleeds between $14,000 and $22,000 a year on expenses that deliver neither real pleasure nor real security. Just the comfortable feeling of doing what everyone else is doing. 7 specific expenses. Every single one feels completely justified. None of them survive contact with the math. I'm the wolf. Subscribe if this channel is new to you. Meet Carol and Jim Patterson, 54 years old, Atlanta, Georgia. Combined income of $96,000 a year. They consider themselves careful with money. They are about to discover $19,200 a year they didn't know they were losing. And what that $19,200 redirected and reinvested over the next 10 years actually becomes. The answer is $287,000. Let's go through every one. Cut number 1, the new car. Jim leased a new truck 2 years ago, $787 a month. It smells good. It has a screen the size of a small television. It depreciates the moment it leaves the lot, roughly 20% in the first year alone, according to Edmunds' 2024 depreciation data. Jim doesn't think of it as a wealth destroyer. He thinks of it as transportation. Here's what it actually is. $787 a month is $9,444 a year. A reliable 3-year-old version of the same truck costs $28,000 purchased outright, or $380 a month financed. The difference is $407 a month, $4,884 a year. Invested at 7% over 10 years, that single decision put $67,000 into Jim's retirement account. He's not driving less. Yeah, and he's driving differently. The truck still gets him to work. The $67,000 buys him 8 months he doesn't have to go. Cut number 2. The house that's too big. The kids left 6 years ago. The house has 4 bedrooms. Carol and Jim are using 1.5 of them and the master in Jim's home office, which is mostly a place where Amazon packages accumulate. The mortgage, property taxes, utilities, and maintenance on that house cost $3,100 a month. A well-located 2-bedroom in the same metro, owned, not rented, runs $1,650. The difference is $1,450 a month. $17,400 a year. I'm not telling Carol and Jim to move. I'm telling them to run the number, because most people have never actually calculated what the empty rooms cost them annually. When they do, and I've seen this happen, the conversation changes. The house isn't just a home anymore. It's the most expensive storage unit in America. Cut number 3. The wrong health insurance plan. This one is counterintuitive. Most people over 50 default to the most comprehensive and most expensive plan available because healthcare feels like the wrong place to take risks. But here's what the data from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows. The average American over 50 with employer-sponsored insurance pays $6,100 a year in premiums for a high-end PPO and uses, on average, $2,300 in actual healthcare services annually. A high-deductible plan paired with a health savings account costs $3,200 in premiums. The HSA contributions at up to $4,150 for individuals in 2025 are tax-deductible going in, grow tax-free, and come out tax-free for medical expenses, or after 65 for anything at all. The HSA is one of the most powerful retirement vehicles in the American tax code. Most people have never used one. Carol is paying $2,900 more per year than necessary for coverage she statistically doesn't use, while missing a triple tax advantage sitting right in front of her. I'm curious, how many of these are already in your budget? Most people recognize at least 3 before we get to number 4. Cut number 4, the invisible subscription stack. Pull up your bank statement. Not your memory of your bank statement, the actual document. Jim did this exercise last year. He found 2 streaming services he forgot to cancel after the free trials. A cloud storage plan duplicating one his employer provides, a gym membership he uses twice a month, a meal kit subscription Carol thought Jim had canceled, a roadside assistance plan covered by his car insurance, a software subscription for a business idea from 2021 that never launched. Total, $387 a month. $4,644 a year. for services delivering approximately zero measurable value to either of them. The wolf calls this the subscription fog. It accumulates slowly, invisibly, $112.99 charge at a time, until the statement looks like a receipt from a life you don't actually live. One afternoon, one bank statement, one cancellation session, $4,644 back in the table. Cut number 5, the open checkbook for adult children. This one is the hardest because it doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like parenting. Carol and Jim have a 26-year-old son, good kid, employed, making $38,000 a year in his first real job. They still cover his phone plan, $85 a month. They still send $300 a month just to help. They paid his security deposit when he moved. They covered his car repair in March. In the last 12 months, $6,240 in direct financial support to a healthy, employed adult. The Employee Benefit Research Institute is clear on this. Parents who maintain open financial pipelines to adult children in their 50s reduce their own retirement readiness by an average of 11% over a decade. 11%, not because they don't love their kids, because the math doesn't negotiate with love. The wolf doesn't cut the relationship. The wolf cuts the pipeline and replaces it with something more valuable, a conversation about money, a model of financial independence the kid can actually learn from. The greatest inheritance is not the check. It's watching someone build without a safety net and survive. Cut number 6, the expensive portfolio. Jim has a financial advisor, nice guy. Quarterly calls, reassuring voice, 1.1% annual advisory fee on a $340,000 portfolio. That's $3,740 a year, every year. Whether the market goes up or down, whether Jim's situation changes or not, whether the advice is personalized or templated. Vanguard's research is definitive. A 1% fee difference over 20 years reduces a retirement portfolio by more than 17%. On Jim's balance, that's over $90,000 in lost compounding, paid not to the market, not to taxes, but to a middleman. A 3-fund index portfolio, total market international bonds, managed independently through Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab costs between 0.03% and 0.07% annually. $3,500 a year stays in Jim's account instead of leaving it. The advice Jim is paying for is available in a $20 book. The wolf is not saying, never use an advisor. The wolf is saying, know exactly what you're paying and what you're getting. Cut number 7, the duplicate insurance. Carol has life insurance through her employer. Jim has a separate term life policy purchased in 2009, $220 a month, back when the kids were young and the mortgage was new. The kids are gone. The mortgage has 11 years left. The employer policy covers the gap. Jim's 2009 policy is now covering a risk that no longer exists at the same magnitude, while pulling $2,640 a year out of the budget. A 2025 term life audit, a 30-minute call with an independent broker, could right-size Jim's coverage and return $1,200 to $1,800 annually to his investable cash flow. Add auto and home insurance to the audit. The average American overpays by $400 a year simply by not shopping at renewal, according to the Insurance Information Institute. One phone call, one afternoon, one decision. Here's the full number. Carol and Jim Patterson, careful with money, both employed, no obvious financial disasters, are bleeding $19,200 a year across 7 expenses that feel normal because everyone around them is doing the same thing. $19,200 a year, redirected, invested at a 7% average annual return. Over 10 years, $287,000, that's not a second income. That's not a windfall. That's the result of 7 decisions made before 55, when the compounding window is still wide open. Every dollar you redirect is a day you don't have to sell to an employer. The sheep keeps paying because it feels normal. The wolf asks one question before every expense. Is this buying me time or costing me time? That question changes everything. If this math just shifted something, the word is Redirected. You know where to put it. And if you want the next cut, the exact breakdown of how to build a 3-fund portfolio that beats 94% of actively managed funds at 1/10 the cost, subscribe. It's already built and waiting. The sheep pays for comfort. The wolf pays for freedom. See you in the next one.